Welcome once again to another episode of the Horizon Roundtable. I am Bob McDonald, and joining me is my co-host Matt Dudek.
Hey there, everybody.
You can find Matt on Twitter at Horizon Matt. You can find us on the web at horizonroundtable.com. You can find links to all of our social sites and where you can find us where podcasts are available at horizonroundtable.com/subscribe. Become a patron, patreon.com/horizonroundtable. Get the game previews early. Best dollar a month you've ever spent. Patreon.com/horizonroundtable. Matt, I think it's funny because I think Kyle Malzahn, who's one of the sports reporters up at one of the local Green Bay TV stations, he keeps saying that he's running out of superlatives for Green Bay, but damn it, we're going to try.
I mean, I'm happy to start here because I don't know what else to say about Green Bay. Like, if I'm being honest. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. You can lead it in. I'll tell you where I'm at in a second.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Well, it's interesting because this dichotomy we have within the Horizon League of these teams, and it seems to happen every year. We have this pleasant surprise of a team that comes out and surprises everyone and does really well, and it's a feel-good story, and so on and so forth, which is, set against, the general mediocrity or terribleness of some of the other teams. But we do it every year, and I'm totally good with that. And this year, it's Green Bay's turn.
I mean,
and yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, when we talked to Sonny Wicks this summer, it was clear that this dude was going to be a lot of fun. At a minimum, he was going to be a good time. I'm not surprised that he's been able to turn this into being a good coach. However, all of that said, did I or anybody think that Green Bay would be what Green Bay was going to be this year? Not a chance. I mean, a couple-year rebuild, cool. Like, Noah Reynolds seems like a cool piece, a big piece. Okay, yeah. And then they knocked off Youngstown State without Noah Reynolds. What?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this Green Bay team has not passed the eye test to me on multiple occasions, yet they continue to win, and that is good coaching, first off. Like, that just tells you that they are doing the little things right. We're going to get into it. Oakland lost the game because they didn't do the little things right. Green Bay continues to win games because they're doing the little things right, and that's just really good coaching. And you give Sonny Wicks all the credit in the world, his staff, everybody, and they just keep rolling. Like, I don't know what else you say about it. They're just rolling.
Yeah, it's amazing where they are at this moment in time. From even the beginning of the season, when you didn't know what they were getting into and they were playing all these bye games, you're just getting pounded in the bye games, they turn around and come into the conference season with clearly a level of confidence I didn't realize that they had. And maybe that's from some of the surprise wins they had, the St. Thomas win, the UIC win, which, by the way, excites us all because, it's UIC. The game against Youngstown State, though, that one right there, that was, to your point, I can barely describe what that was, given that they were able to overcome the adversity of not having Noah Reynolds, who, let's be honest, is in the clubhouse is probably a favorite to win Player of the Year this year.
He's definitely up there.
They go without him and slug it out with a Youngstown State team that has multiple weapons. They slug it out with a Youngstown State team that had DJ Burns have a career game. What is it, 30 points and 16 rebounds he had?
God, I like him.
And had what looked like a dagger of a three-pointer in the closing seconds to get that and then be able to come out of that and get a win.
Well, and you know what's fun? You talk about that dagger. There was a social media clip, and I don't have it pulled up, and I don't remember who posted it. So sorry if you're listening and this was your clip. But when that happened, there's a clip of I believe it was Brett Thompson from YSU essentially taunting the Green Bay bench.
Oh.
And you know who was still on the bench at that moment?
Thompson, but that might have been a little premature, sir.
You know who was still on the bench and would have had that directed at them in that moment was Foster Wonders, who turns around and buries.
Don't mess with the Iron Mountain Assassin.
Buries it. And you know what? Again, we've talked about coaching a little bit here, and I'm not going to tell you I'm the smartest basketball mind, but I've watched a little bit. The double screen that freed up Foster Wonders on that was beautiful, and they executed it beautiful with the inbound to the big guy at the top of the key, and Wonders off the double screen, free, good look, buried it.
Absolutely. And that was, again, and they were only down by 2 at that moment in time. They could have easily just went with the tie. They could have easily just went with the tie, but they're like, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna go for the win. We're gonna do it. It's now or never.
Why wouldn't you if you're Green Bay right now? You're playing with house money.
It's amazing.
It's house money.
I mean, yeah. It's great. It is insane. And it is, once again, Matt, say the line.
Horizon gonna horizon.
That's right.
But I will say, as much as Horizon's gonna horizon, and it did, we have, at least for a minute, a little separation. We have some clear separation in some teams for a moment, a little moment of clarity that's not going to last. If you think it's going to last, you're wrong. But
it's not. Yeah, it's not the Horizon League way. Not even close.
But for the moment, we have clarity. We have Green Bay a game up, sitting in first place by themselves. Great. We have Oakland in second, a game up on YSU, a game behind Green Bay, second by themselves. We have YSU in third, game behind Oakland, game ahead of Wright State, in third by themselves. And then it gets a little horizon.
Then it gets a little murky, yeah, of course, because it's a little murky there.
But at least for now, we have a clear 1, 2, 3.
We do.
And they've all beaten up on each other, except for Oakland YSU, where Oakland took 2. But otherwise, I mean, like, we're just
true. It is absolutely true.
Well, and the other thing that I will say is really, really big about this Green Bay win at YSU is the way the Horizon tiebreakers play out, which is a whole cluster in itself. But one of those tiebreakers is head-to-head against the next ranked teams, and Oakland really had a strong advantage having swept YSU. But Green Bay getting the win at YSU is really big on potential tiebreakers coming down the stretch here.
Especially when you consider that YSU has got to go back up to Green Bay and play them in Green Bay.
Right.
And it's not going to be at the Rush Center either. It's going to be at Crest. And Crest is a little more of an intimate venue for them. So it's going to be insane.
Oakland really thought they had a major advantage. It seemed they would. A major advantage with a win at Beagley Center earlier in the year.
Yeah. They did. Turns out not to be at the moment.
Might not be the advantage that it appeared it was going to be. Which, I mean, again, it's just end of the day, credit goes to Green Bay because they are better than anybody could have anticipated outside of potentially Sonny Wicks, who apparently does keep receipts. So I'm sure we're all going to hear about it. And you know what? I'll take that on the chin.
I mean. Yeah, I think we've been pretty much doing the mea culpa, take the L thing for a while now, and we'll continue to do that gleefully, happily. So we're probably going to need. Let's go ahead and talk about Oakland because again, Oakland had the chance to stay tied with Green Bay, and that did not happen this weekend. What is it with playing at Truist Arena for some teams that just doesn't work for anybody?
Oakland struggles there, and I don't understand why, because it's not a great home court advantage, which is a sad thing because it's a beautiful arena, and they just don't really get the environment that I think that they should. But that's a different conversation. We've hashed that out with Craven in the past. Like, it's just a thing. It is what it is. But like,
weird.
Yeah. What a beautiful venue.
It should be, but it isn't. It doesn't make any sense.
But all that said, Oakland just doesn't play well there, and in this case, they had the opportunity to win the game and straight up didn't. They had veteran players make stupid mistakes, including Rocket Watts at the end of the first half, which got him benched for the entire second half and pretty much most of the Wright State game, if we're being honest. He saw the floor, but very little.
I was about to put him in a milk carton because I don't think I saw him during the Wright State game.
I asked somebody traveling with the team after the NKU game if they'd seen Rocket, and they said, actually, I haven't. So as far as I know,
you need to explain to me what exactly happened to cause Rocket to get Thanos snapped.
So Rocket Watts has been a fantastic on-ball defender all year, and not that Oakland plays a lot of on-ball, but when they have, it's been called on Rocket to defend the other team's best player. And so with a couple seconds, I think there was like 5 seconds left in the first half, Oakland is up. Rocket is brought in, makes a fantastic defensive play with about 3 seconds still left on the clock, gets the ball, and heaves it from half court where it's an air ball and goes out of bounds with about 2.5 seconds now back to NKU.
Easily the weirdest thing I've seen.
He didn't know how much time was on the clock, had enough time to run in and dunk that, at least lay it up. It was there was nobody around him. He had plenty of time for 2 easy points. However, in turning the ball back over, this became NKU's ball, who got it to half court, called a timeout, got it into work, who hits a buzzer beater and hits a 3. That becomes a 5-point difference right there on a mistake.
And it was a difference in the game, really.
Well, you had that one. You also had I have to preface this for anyone that cares. I have been incredibly what's the word I want? Words are hard today. Oh my gosh. Complimentary. Yeah. That's the word I want. Complimentary of Mr. Blake Lampman. He has been terrific. I said last week on the podcast he should be player of the week, and he was co-player of the week. I think that was crap. Either way, he's been really, really good. However, in this NKU game, they were up 4, and NKU got a breakaway, and Lampman chased it down and didn't make a play on the ball. So instead of probably giving up 2 points, it became a flagrant foul and became a 4-point swing, tying the game. That's a mistake you don't expect from a 5th-year senior. Like you got, and he's a smart basketball man. You got to be better than that. He made a mistake. It happens. Those mistakes cost Oakland that game, because if you look at the box score, Oakland was Golke and Lampman both hitting from 3.
Oh, yeah.
Townsend crushing it. Like all the things were there that should have been, like if you look at that box score, that should have been an Oakland win, and it wasn't. And it came down to little plays.
Correct.
But I will say, as far as Lampman goes, there was a moment in the Wright State game towards the end, similar situation. Lampman chased him down, didn't make a play, or didn't even try, let it go, gave up the 2 points, learned his mistake. Oakland ends up walking away pretty comfortably from Wright State. It's those mistakes, though, that you have to, and when you have an old veteran team, you don't expect to see them. And with the NKU game, that's what happened. Between the Rocket mistake, the Lampman mistake, and just a couple of the little things, nothing drastic as those, but like it's those little things that matter. And a lot of it also comes down to credit to NKU. I think Atijere doesn't get enough credit in this league right now. I think he's a force, an absolute force, because he's an athletic big, kind of like Chris Brandon, but more skilled.
Absolutely.
Chris Brandon was good, but Chris Brandon was super athletic, but not necessarily skilled in the way that Atijere is skilled with the ball, around the basket, scoring. Like he's doing everything, and he's beating teams like Oakland with that athleticism. And I don't, there's always a lot of talk, especially around Oakland circles, around there's no one that can keep up with Townsend, because if you put a true big on him, he's going to blow past. If you put someone fast enough to keep up with Townsend, he's going to bully them. Atijere is that kryptonite.
That turned out to be the case. That definitely turned out to be the case. Also, it does help. But also, again, it doesn't help to have a guy like Marquez Work still on your team, and which incidentally is kind of my segue to congratulating Marquez Work on becoming the all-time leading scorer in NKU history.
Absolutely, and you know what? Well deserved. It's a bummer that Drew McDonald couldn't be in the building, because Drew McDonald's usually the color guy.
Oh yeah, NKU. That is true.
And he had a fire and get a.
Yeah.
He would be available, and.
What do you do?
Yeah, I know it sucks, but it is what it is. But it was nice that he was able to get that done at home. It was against Detroit Mercy. Detroit Mercy is still Detroit Mercy.
They're still just not very good, but they continue to stay in game. Like they're right there.
Yeah,
They
indeed.
right there with Wright State after what looked like a blowout. All of a sudden, that game got real tight.
Well, that's because Wright State doesn't play any defense. Again, how often do you see that? How often do you see that? How often have you seen that this season?
And it turns out oh, go ahead.
No, it's like, once again, Wright State makes things interesting in the way they shouldn't be making things interesting because of the defense problem, which they've had all season.
If you play defense against Wright State, you got a good chance of winning.
Yeah. Yes. As Oakland figured out on Saturday, because they held Wright State to 60 points. I couldn't believe it. They dominated that game on the defensive end.
They controlled the pace too, and that was huge.
Really did. That wasn't. Yeah, they really took Wright State out of the rhythm. And
I of course watched that game, and I forgot Tanner Holden's on Wright State at times, which I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. And I think he was in double digits against Oakland, but it was a really quiet double digits.
Yeah.
And one other thing about that Oakland Wright State game is that Oakland made their bigs disappear. And Buru was a big part of that.
Dude is a beast.
I know. We talk about AJ Brown and Brandon Knoll, and those are the guys who should be getting it done and should be the premier front court in the Horizon League. And Buru was like, nah, I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Well, and
he did.
The thing with Oakland, and I always try to make sure I don't get too deep into Oakland, because obviously it's what I'm most familiar with, is Oakland had to play some more depth against Wright State than they did against NKU. Part of that being that Conway is now playing with a broken thumb on his shooting hand. Not ideal.
No.
But it's like displaced, so it's one of those things that it's broken, but you're going to play through it, and it's going to suck, but there's nothing you can do about it, kind of deal, is my understanding. But either way, that sucks. But with all that, we didn't see Tone Hunter at NKU. We saw a bunch of Tone Hunter against Wright State, and he was a factor.
Yeah, he certainly was.
Oakland was pressed into using more depth, which is not something Campy does naturally. He likes to get his 8 and ride those 8, and he didn't get a chance to do that as much. And sure. I think that was for the better. Oakland's a deep team.
It certainly seemed like it. They really are.
They neutralized a lot of Wright State with that.
Yeah. And I guess because over the years Oakland has had varying injury issues and depth issues, and we're not really used to seeing that out of Oakland. And then fast forward to this year, and you see it. It's pretty prominent. That whole next man up thing is definitely working for Oakland right now, at the right time even. So that is definitely going to be something that we can look forward to down the stretch. And they definitely are going to. And to your point at the beginning when we talked about it at the beginning, yes, Green Bay obviously has a much tougher schedule moving forward. So gonna be a barn burner. Definitely going to be interesting. Do you know moving on, do we know what's going on with Milwaukee? Because I don't know what's going on with Milwaukee, at all.
Just a inconsistent kind of mess. And it's kind of what I expect of Milwaukee over the years, but we didn't see it last year, and I thought maybe Lundy had turned that corner.
I think one of the other things, too, maybe they've lost too much. I don't know, because Browning's obviously not on the team anymore. Duffy's out. Franklin's out. I mean, maybe they've lost too much, and it's starting to come up and creep up on them.
Yeah. And
it has specifically in recent games. It really seems like it. So, and that it really hurts him. And man, Faison Fields keeps getting banged up, man. Every time I turn around, he's getting hammered and ending up on the floor. And it's like, dude, I'm genuinely concerned that he's gonna, one of these games, he's gonna not get up for a while, and they're gonna lose him. because that's how much he's been pounding it in, and it's just not, for all that effort he's putting in, there is a lot of, I just don't get it. I mean, you see the roster, even without the players that they don't have, even with they should be doing a lot better, and there's not. I mean, they were obviously in the game at Youngstown State. They took that was an overtime game, as 3 of them were on Thursday night. Love that.
Horizon loved the overtime.
They do. They're great. Love it. Or don't love it when you're trying to pay attention and try to post on social media all over the place. Don't love it then, but it's cool afterwards. And they were in that game against Youngstown State. And then you go to Robert Morris, and they just did not seem like they were into the game at all. They had one stretch in the second half where they were close, and then that was it. They just were not. It just didn't seem like they were there for that game against Robert Morris. A game Robert Morris needed bad. They need
Robert Morris is scrappy.
Bad.
I don't get it, but they're scrappy.
They are. They are better than their record indicates. That's for sure. It's just they have the pieces to win. We see it occasionally, but we don't see it all the time. Their consistency. If they were a lot more consistent, they would be way more into this race than they actually are. They would be better than 6-8. That's for sure.
Right.
But yeah. I'm looking at Milwaukee, and I just don't understand what the deal is. You have all the pieces. What's going on?
What's the deal?
I don't know.
Yeah, not sure either.
I don't know.
It comes with a lot of the Horizon. It just comes back to consistency. If you're going to be consistent and bad, okay, then be consistently bad. If you're going to be consistently good, be consistently good. But Horizon, and we can't be consistent around here. The only thing consistent is Horizon. We got Horizon.
We got fourth. We got probably everyone from 4th to 9th who are pretty much not all got consistent, which is awesome for us. Even Wright State at 9 and 6. Are they really all that consistent? No. Is Cleveland State consistent? No. Especially on the road.
Oh God! No.
Except for this week, apparently, because they went on the road, which I did not expect them to win at Purdue Fort Wayne, and they won. And I'm like, all right, make up which team do you want to be here? Clearly, they want to be the team with that, basically where Tristan and Aruna is the star, which is cool. I'm good with that.
As he should be.
As he should be. Easy for me. He's an easy first teamer. It's funny because I didn't have him as first teamer last year, and I definitely have him on there now. But yeah, Cleveland State, absolutely inconsistent, not very good on the road at all, goes in and beats Purdue Fort Wayne. Purdue Fort Wayne loses to Cleveland State, turns around and hammers IUPUI.
Okay,
7-7. Okay, so yeah, and I think it's weird because Purdue Fort Wayne could very well win 20 games this year. They could win 20 games this year and finish in 8th in this conference. Make sense.
Their most likely finish spot as of right now is 7th. And they're probably going to be a 20-game winner. They played the best game of basketball I've ever seen a mid-major play, and that was against Oakland, earlier in the year. What a weird team to not be at the top of the standings right now.
Exactly. If you want an embodiment of Horizon's gonna Horizon, the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons are that team. They just are. A probable 20-game winner who's probably going to finish, who is statistically more likely to finish 7th or 8th than they are in the top 4.
One thing, talking about statistical things, one thing that we did get this week is we did eliminate one more team from potentially finishing in first place.
Yes, we did. Yes, we certainly did.
Robert Morris has been officially removed from that contention.
That they have indeed. obviously by virtue of the loss to Green Bay. I mean, they do have another game against Green Bay, but yeah, I'm not seeing that.
I mean, the race for first place, and I did post this on Twitter earlier today. It's not a secret. It's pretty much statistically down to Oakland and Green Bay for first place.
Yeah.
Youngstown State has a slight chance. A couple other teams are still statistically possible, but less than 1% chance of that happening.
Indeed, that is true. That was playoffstatus.com, right? That's kind of our
fantastic sources, Bob. Yeah, that's playoff status.
I'm not the one who. Somebody handed that to us long ago, and again, and by the way, Green Bay moving on up. They are also thanks to Robert Morris's weekend. You know how we had Green Bay pick 9th? It's mathematically impossible for them to finish 9th now. So they will even exceed our expectations, which were actually higher than the Horizon Leagues.
We were higher on them, at least.
We were that high, but we were higher.
We're gonna take the win here, Bob. We were higher than the Horizon League. We were smarter than them. Oof, not by much.
Not by much. But
not by much.
So Robert Morris is out. IUPUI is out. You want IUPUI to do better, but then we have the game, and you know which game I'm talking about this week.
Oh, it's coming.
And it's coming.
Do we officially have tipsy off rules like ready to go? Where are we at with that?
We got to get John on this.
John,
got to get John on this. Oh yeah, 7:00 Wednesday, Callahan Hall, IUPUI against Detroit Mercy, and unless Wright State does something silly in the comeback game, this may very well be the last chance that Detroit Mercy has of beating anyone. That is a screwed up statement if I ever did say, but am I wrong?
No, I feel like Detroit Mercy is rolling a little bit higher than IUPUI right now.
Which is funny because IUPUI just basically tossed them out of their own gym in the first meeting. And I didn't expect that. Now, mind you, of course, in the first meeting, and by the way, I'm kind of giving away a little bit some of the games preview that I put together. IUPUI did not have Jalen Counter in the first game. But Detroit Mercy did not have Jaden Stone.
I feel like that's a wash.
However, Detroit Mercy had Ryan Hurst, had Donovan Totley. None of them are there anymore.
Was Oaks on the roster at that point?
Yes, he was. He only played 3 minutes.
Well, he's not going to be playing. He's out with a fractured tailbone or a broken tailbone or something like that.
Well, you got to be kidding me. Are you serious?
Yep, I read that on the old Detroit Mercy message board.
Oh, for Christ's sake. You know what? Just put all the players in bubble wrap during the week. I mean, that's where we're at. Just put them in bubble wrap. That's where you're at. Oh, come on. Really?
Yep.
So they once again have absolutely no depth in the front court again.
Still.
Still. And this is kind of the thing that IUPUI is, for whatever reason, IUPUI, and had the advantage in the front court in the first meeting. I don't get how they did, but they did, because clearly, Abdu Sam and Kwanzi Samuels were a lot better than Eduardo Del Cadia and Tyree Davis. They were. Also, they seem to get in a lot less foul trouble than those two guys. So,
by the way, that's Tyree. Don't call me Mike Davis.
That's true. That's right, ESPN.
They fixed it after most of the season.
It only took them a month. But yeah, I don't know if I feel like it's that one of those things where it's like you want to see it. You don't really necessarily want to see it. You have to see it. It's kind of like, and I also referenced this in the games review, not to take away anything. There's a morbid curiosity to that game The same way there is for like a Real Housewives reunion show. That's pretty much that's the only equation. The only thing I can equate to that.
I just wish that we had a little bit more of a staggered schedule there, because like I want to watch Oakland Fort Wayne, but it's going to be tough because I got to watch IUPUI-Detroit Mercy, and I don't know which, am I going to flip? Am I going to just finish one and turn on the other on the replay? Like, I'm not sure how I want to handle this, but
lots of
must-see
screens,
TV.
Matt. Lots of screens. Must-see
yes.
TV, and I mean, this is like a reality show mess that you just can't avert your eyes from, like at all.
It's just.
I know. We shouldn't be like reveling in this because there's a lot of good games on Wednesday. The Robert Morris Youngstown State game, that's going to be a good one because for whatever reason, Robert Morris plays pretty well at Beagley. At least they did last year when they upset Youngstown State.
I think Youngstown State's coming in angry and going to just slap them.
Oh, yeah,
it's not Robert Morris's fault, but.
Yeah. Then you have Cleveland State, Milwaukee. Hopefully Cleveland State learns their lesson from the Milwaukee game, the first Milwaukee game.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. And then the aforementioned Purdue Fort Wayne Oakland game, and I know Oakland's out for some revenge too, obviously.
But really, the NKU Green Bay game is the game of the night.
It is. I mean, the game of the night, that's a good one. That's not going to be I got to look at this game through my fingers.
Well, right. I mean, game of the night of actual decent basketball probably being played.
Yeah, and every single one of these games starts at 7, with the exception of Youngstown State that starts at 6:30.
Yeah.
Even the Green Bay game starts at 7. They usually start at 8. Y'all are killing me here.
I've enjoyed the scheduling this year. Like, I haven't minded the change, but I would love a little bit of staggered scheduling, if at all possible, in the future, Julie.
I don't know how you can pull it off, but
I don't either.
Could you try, please?
But I'd be happy to.
It's not just. I mean, obviously, it's not just the conference. There's obviously logistical considerations at each of these schools as well.
Sure.
So there is that. The Northern Kentucky Green Bay is gonna. I think that game is gonna be great, but especially since Green Bay is definitely gonna want to get some payback for when they were down in Northern Kentucky. Yeah, definitely gonna want some payback for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are looking at IUPUI-Detroit Mercy and thinking to ourselves, gotta watch it. We don't know why we have to watch it. We gotta watch it. And I don't get it.
It's the train wreck, like.
I mean, yeah, I guess. It seems kind of silly, but it is what it is, man. Oh, boy.
I'd also like to point out for the gamblers and degenerates out there, Detroit Mercy's at least been covering the spread on some of those.
That is true. They have been indeed. Yeah, they covered. Yeah, they did cover.
I don't know how. So. Yeah, they've been covering. Of
course, if you are betting this game, 1-800-GAMBLER, dude.
But if you are betting this game, make sure that you follow some of the great cappers over there at dubclub.win. who's not an official sponsor, but. If you need
or ride with Horizon Boy. He seems to be doing pretty well this year.
Absolutely. I have tried to bring Horizon Boy over to Dub Club. I want that to be known. Horizon Boy is not interested. He's here for the fun of it, and that is totally valid.
I'm okay with that too.
I've tried.
I know you have. But I do like the fact that this week we have Wednesday games, we have Saturday games. None of this staggered consistent schedule. None of this none of this we're gonna throw a random Thursday or Friday game at you.
Well, but it was Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So the Wednesday, Saturday makes the most sense to me. I'm glad that they're maybe getting on the schedule here to finish this.
Yeah, that's great.
Plus, I mean, Wednesday is Valentine's Day, so get your sweetheart, get your dinners done, and get over there to IUPUI-Detroit Mercy on ESPN Plus. Because what says romance other than two really terrible Horizon League teams?
I mean, I would say that whoever loses this game has to be considered the worst team in basketball, all of college basketball. But Mississippi Valley State still exists, so
They're trying their best to keep the Horizon League out of the bottom. I appreciate
they
that.
They really are. Yeah. Thank you, Mississippi Valley State, because we really did. It's bad enough we got it. We have to bring the attention to it. We didn't want anybody else to either. But it's not stopping anybody, is it?
No, but
what's up, sickos?
Outside of those Wednesday games, the Saturday games are kind of more of a ho-hum Horizon League, just playing games, like nothing noteworthy necessarily. So,
which is funny because we have, let's see here: Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Detroit Mercy. All right.
Yeah,
okay. The Youngstown State, Cleveland State game should be interesting, if not for any other reason besides Cleveland State will probably hope they don't. Was probably going to look to avoid losing by 25 this time. I got to say once again, that game at Beagley that Cleveland State played, worst game they played all season. And that's saying a lot. They just were not in anything. I mean, oh man, IUPUI has to go to Oakland.
They do have to. It's how the schedule works. They have to come to Oakland. They don't get a choice.
Oh man. Wow, that's going to be. I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah. Oh, wow. I just noticed this. Green Bay is not playing. Was only playing one game this week again.
That Green Bay schedule is a little weird, and that's another thing. Looking at the Horizon League schedule, oddly enough, the 3 teams that are at the top of the league right now are the ones that had played. I think it was 15 games, if I remember off the top of my head. What was it?
All of them have played 15 games already. So yeah, actually the top 4 teams. So Green Bay, Oakland, Youngstown State, and Wright State. All 4 of those teams have played 15 games, and conversely, so have IUPUI and Detroit Mercy.
Yeah, well, so the top of the league and the very bottom of the league are at 15. Everyone's at 14 right now, so we got to see that start evening out here.
Yeah, we're getting down to the end of it. So, Youngstown State, I think they're going to be playing 2 games a week until the last week of the season, where they only play 1. And that one game just happens to be against IUPUI, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, love me a good IUPUI game.
Doesn't everybody? Oh, I'm sorry.
Not everybody.
No, I am absolutely mistaken. I am so sorry. I'm wrong. They've already beaten up on IUPUI twice already. No, The last game of the season for Youngstown State is Detroit Mercy at Beagley.
Yeah, same difference. At Beagley.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
Ah, yes, the Cohill Davis getting into it revenge game with neither of them there.
With neither of them there, and hopefully no hamburgers will be thrown this time.
Every once in a while you need a good hamburger toss.
Yeah, I would probably throw a hamburger just because I'm watching really bad basketball. Can't you do any better, damn it?
Nah, it's gonna be a good time. The Horizon is a good time.
I'm glad you think so. Right? Oh, that's gonna be so brutal. I'm not even. I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm kind of not looking forward to it. Man, that's a
long way away. This week we've got a couple of marquee matchups. We've got a lot of just Horizon games.
I'm sorry. When you say marquee matchups, are we referring? Are we using that? Are we using that word marquee a little liberally in some cases?
Bob, I said what I said.
Marquee's doing a lot of work in some of these cases.
Marquee matchups this week on Wednesday, especially.
Oh man!
Hide your children, hide your wife. We doing. Wednesday's Valentine's Day. Show the love in the Horizon League.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this is gonna be. It's either. I'm telling you, this game. I know we're belaboring this really bad game, and it's really stupid considering the fact we've got a really good game happening at the same time with Northern Kentucky and Green Bay, which has regular season championship implications. It has first round buy-in implications. It has everything you're looking for. It has a vengeance angle. It has a will Noah Reynolds be back from his illness angle. All of those things, and we're talking about IUPUI Detroit Mercy. Because this is probably the last opportunity the last chance Detroit Mercy is gonna have to win or be in a position to win, because the rest of these games are not looking good for them, like at all.
IUPUI at Detroit Mercy in Callahan Hall. Throw out the record books. Here we go.
Oh, the record books. Yeah, they want to throw out those record books. Good Lord.
That's what I said. Get us out of here, Bob. There's nothing more. There's nothing more. We've set the table. You know what to expect this week. Let's do this.
Yeah, as Neil Rule says, time to put the cakes on the griddle.
The cakes are on the griddle.
Yeah, that's right. Time for you to, or as Brady Labor says, time to go to you're heading to the Dairy Queen. I'm just gonna use all of those things. So, all right, so that's gonna wrap it up for us, because I think we've talked way too much about the two worst teams in this league.
Everybody got a little love today. We're good.
They did. That is true. So, all right, let's do this then. Let's get out of here. HorizonRoundtable.com. That's where our articles and our podcast episodes are found. You can find us where podcasts are available, and you can pull us up on your Amazon or Google devices. And I cannot stress this enough. Patreon.com/Horizon Roundtable. $1 a month level, you get early access to the games previews that I've been talking about for the second half of this damn podcast. Go, best dollar you'll ever spend. And you can cancel at any time. If you want to spend $5 to $7, we got merch too. We got awesome merch. And I'm not going to jinx it, but we may have some more merch coming on here soon. So, but until then, until next week at least, thank you all for listening.